The last elections, we must admit, divided us like no other elections have divided us. Let me tell you this. If you speak about rigging in the elections, I'll tell you this. In all our elections, we've had rigging. This was no different. But why did this election evoke the kind of emotions we saw and we're still seeing till today? Why do we have a large section of Nigerians who don't want to recognize this president as their president, or who want him to fail at all costs? I'll tell you why. We let Nigeria slide to the point where in the last elections, where religion and tribe were so pronounced, where for many of us, all we demanded was that we must have a Christian president. Many others said you must have a Christian president from the southeast. It's the turn of the southeast. Some people say, like, Emilokon, is my turn. We had all these sentiments, and for Nigerians were not really concerned. All they cared was, what I wanted is what must happen. And when what you wanted didn't happen, it becomes difficult for a lot of us to stomach. There's nothing we'll accept. We are so divided because of that election. And it's difficult to move Nigeria forward because of that. I tell you this. If anyone expects this president to succeed or make any headway, where you have almost half of the country who have these sentiments, the person is deceiving himself. Can any husband thrive with a wife that hates you? It's not possible. When your wife is fighting you every day before you leave for work, you come back, you're going home, you're expecting a wife who just hates you, who is fighting you. Can you thrive? You can never thrive, and that's the situation with this country. When we choose to hate our president, we forget that when we hate our president, we hate ourselves. Because the president represents the country. Like it or not, for the next 3 years remaining, he represents the country, and anything he does, in good or bad faith, affects you. So the smart thing is for us to rise above these sentiments. I cannot continue to stay in a nation where the only thing available to me is to hate my president and speak ill of my president. So I continue suffering. Let me tell you something. 8 years of Buhari, all I did was speak against that government. Buhari. But tell you what did it benefit me? The same Nigerians who spoke about Buhari on social media, spoke about APC. I tell you what, were you not surprised to see the APC rallies? Did you see any of them empty? No, answer me. Did you see any of the APC rallies empty? Nigerians like you and I went out in their numbers to support APC. So understand that what you feel is what you feel is for you. You don't know what the other man feels. Do you understand? Last we're still all Nigerians, Abi. President Buhari removed subsidy. President Tinubu came, like I said, came like a cowboy and said, I am removing subsidy. No, he did not remove subsidy. Buhari removed subsidy. All he ought to have done in his maiden address to Nigerians is to say, whereas President Buhari has removed subsidy, I will now start looking at solutions to ameliorate the sufferings that will come, the attendant sufferings that will come from the removal of subsidy. When that subsidy was removed, when you announced it, you didn't start feeling the effects immediately. You didn't know that subsidy had been removed. But when you had the twin issue of subsidy removal and flotation of the naira, then all hell broke loose, and we started feeling the effects of subsidy removal. I said, and I keep on saying, God did not make the mistake of putting oil and gas in Nigeria. It was not a mistake. The fact that a few Nigerians defrauded the scheme, the subsidy scheme, does not mean that over 200 million Nigerians should suffer, does it? Government should go after those who abuse the subsidy scheme and let subsidy stay and let Nigerians breathe. That's what the government must do. But again, I want to tee off from the question that you asked. And in my speech, I talk about the obsessive or unhealthy focus on what government must do. A few days ago, an American billionaire provided over $600 million to disadvantaged black universities. A white man. To disadvantaged universities. Every year, the media, you report, almost every month, you report on what the rich are doing in other countries, in their generous giving, in what they do in different sectors. In Nigeria here, we believe that government must be the only doer. What happens to all the numerous billionaires you have in Nigeria? What is your expectation of them? On one of my project sites a few days ago, I had a young Hausa boy saying, Dangote Maggi, Dangote sugar, Dangote cement, Dangote this, Dangote that, and everything is expensive. I don't believe that Dangote makes Maggi, but he said Dangote Maggi, right? But the reality is that you have people, these people who are milking our economy, and they are not giving back to you or I in any way. They destroy their economy with their monopolistic tendencies. They don't add anything to the educational sector. Let me tell you something. Rich people, check any developed society. It's not government. Rich people give huge endowments to universities. Not just the government. That you have quality schools, quality hospitals. Check every developed society. Is what the rich do, what they give to those institutions. Here again, we believe that everything is government. Who is this government? It's you and I. That's what the word government. So no matter what you say government, we have this notion as if that government is one, there's somebody, one individual called, there's no individual called government. There are people like you and I. Start asking questions of your rich people. What do they do? You speak about petroleum today, about subsidy petroleum. Let me tell you something else. Are you aware that cement is a product that affects the Nigerian economy like petrol? Are you people aware? That the fact that they increased the price of cement almost 100 or 300% in the last 1 year affected our economy. Are you guys aware? Last week again, I saw Boa Foods or so declare 200 billion naira profits, 6 months profits. You guys don't see this, and you don't understand how it affects your economy, that people are milking your economy so bad that you and your children are suffering. You guys don't see or understand this. You are not challenging your leaders, because they are all your leaders. Anyone who has more in a heightened proportion is your leader in a way. You guys are not asking a lot of these people. I know that when people see this video clip, people are going to say, what of you? You're also a man of means and all of that stuff and blah blah. And I want to throw a challenge today to the likes of Dangote. I want to say this. We have universities that are suffering today in Nigeria. People believe that government should be doing all. I don't believe that government should be the only one funding these schools or giving to these schools. I'm challenging Dangote and the billionaires, the mega rich billionaires you have in Nigeria. Dear Dangote, for every 10 billion naira you give to any of our universities, I, in my lowly state, will give 100 million naira to that university. It's time that our rich start giving to our societies, to our communities. We don't do enough. We don't demand enough of these people. We are obsessed with government, and we should stop that immediately. So for all the people, start demanding more of them. Ask them what they are doing. Show me the schools. Show me the schools. Show me the hospitals. Show me the roads that they have built. Start looking at those things. And then maybe when we aggregate all our rich people in Nigeria and you see what they have done, maybe the pressure on government will reduce and maybe our society will be better. In the last 10 days, our nation witnessed protests that took the lives of over 20 people. There were various reasons for the protests, but chief amongst them
was and is the current hardship being experienced by most Nigerians. As expected, the protest took on different dimensions as mischief makers tried to score political points with the pain of Nigerians. After all the lives lost, after the debilitating effects on our economy, after all said and done, what next? Are we better off in any way? Can we see the light at the end of the tunnel? Has governance improved? Has our economy improved? Did we achieve anything at all with the protests? The jury is still out on this, but while we wait for their decision, what next? I believe we need to start talking solutions. We have an obsessive focus on our nation's problems and supposed failure of any government of the day. This is our style of politics. It was Robert A. Heinlein who said, "You can sway 1,000 men by appealing to their prejudices quicker than you can convince one man by logic." Solutions are logical and are not emotionally appealing. We also can score political points with solutions in a nation that is intoxicated with the nectar of problems. What do we do should be the only question on our lips. Who did it and who caused it can never be as important as what do we do now. Let's use our megaphones to offer solutions to our many problems. In the coming days, I and a few other patriotic Nigerians will be hosting town halls and spaces devoted to aggregating solutions to our many complex problems from the best and brightest amongst us. I enjoin all well-meaning parties, the ruling party, and well-wishers and friends of our dear nation to join me at any of the solution roundtables that will be coming up. If we desire to move this nation forward, we must start talking solutions. Let's move from the streets to the solution roundtables. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you all. As was expected, a group of eminent patriots, when they spoke to the president, chief amongst what they discussed was constitutional amendments and convening a sovereign national conference so we can discuss many issues. This is what a lot of the old order have always said. I believe that whilst we have constitutional issues in Nigeria, that our biggest problem is that we have not done enough with the constitution that is currently available to us. Whereas, and whilst it's flawed in many respects, there's still so much we can do. It's respecting, it's implementing, it's adopting, it's living with the constitution that we currently have, or not living with it, that is one of the biggest problems that we have. Every year or every legislative agenda, they always introduce constitutional amendments, and in more cases than one, we see that they have amended the constitution. Whatever we need to do with our constitution, let's take it through that channel. But the first job of our president today is understanding that Nigerians, or most Nigerians, don't believe they'll have a country or they are one as a people. The Nigerian president must now start selling a charter, now start selling a new order or a new constitution. And when I say constitution now, I mean something that speaks to all Nigerians, that bring us together. That's why I call it a charter. It's what he must start selling, so that we are united by that charter as a people. So I want to see the green, white, green of our flag. We all adhere to it. We all see it as meaning the same thing. It's not the change of an anthem that is our problem. Our problem is that that anthem must mean the same thing to all Nigerians. So in the speech I just made now, I said that politics over the decades has always been about blame game and trying to pull down any government of the day by saying they're not doing well. Unfortunately, we as Nigerians, we've also adopted that style. We focus on the unhealthy blame game as against speaking solutions. So, for example, today, most Nigerians are hungry. And in the last 10 days, all that dominated the media was a protest. People are hungry, people are protesting. But I don't believe I saw, and if anybody saw anybody speaking to what must now be done to ensure that we have food security, or that the price of food comes down, or that we have security in our farms. What must we do? We never saw any of that. I believe that Nigerians are very, very smart people. If Nigerians are implementing or designing policies for other countries that are working for them, those same Nigerians are available to design solutions and policies that work for Nigeria. I started by saying to you guys that I want us to ask questions and to speak to solutions. This morning I made a post on Facebook. I was shocked. Within 15 minutes, I had almost 6-7 people proposing solutions to the food crisis I currently have. That's Nigerians for you. Everybody has something to say and something smart. And all the ideas were very good ideas. This is what we must now bring to the round table. When I speak to a solutions round table, I mean a table, a forum where we have on the solutions to our different issues that is so loud that drowns out the noise of protest, of the blame game, so that government can only see the best of those solutions. Where they're not implementing any of them, they must understand that they will or they should implement it because it makes common sense. They will see it not from the prism of politics, but from the prism of Nigerians who desire a better nation and who've come up with homegrown solutions that will solve their common problems.
We need to do away with that. We need to be speaking about a new Nigeria that does not recognize tendencies or issues that divide us as a people. These issues have destroyed us for too long. We transfer these issues from generation to generation. The Hausa man has what he refers to the Igbo man as, or the Yoruba man as. The Yoruba man has the same for the Hausa and the Igbo. The Igbo has the same for Hausa and Yoruba. In speaking to this, one of the tragedies for us as Nigerians is that the three major tribes in their brick batting, we completely forget the numerous other tribes we have in Nigeria. They are lost in translation. We don't recognize them. We don't even know they exist. They are not part of the Nigerian equation, because when we speak about these three major tribes, and this is their fight that does not end. The new Nigeria we should be pushing for should never thrive on this or promote this, the tendencies that divide us. When you get on Facebook or any of the social media platforms today, it sickens me. The vitriolic you hear. It's so vile what you hear Nigerians, supposedly educated Nigerians, say to each other.